Schmidt from People Before Profit.
Thanks, Brian, very much, and you're doing a great job here. I'm very proud to be here, to stand with the people of Jobstown, and to stand with those who were arrested very shamefully this week by the Irish Free State. Some freedom we have in this state when you're not even allowed the dignity and the right to protest freely in your own estate without being called and blamed and named and framed as some kind of terrorist. Well, I want to say there are all sorts of terrorism, and there's all sorts of terrorism which take place inside so-called democracies. They tell us, and we sometimes believe, that we live in a democracy. It's represented best by Leinster House, that building that contains some of the worst elements of Irish people on a daily basis. On a daily basis, misrepresenting us and abusing our communities and abusing working class people. In your lifetime, you'll be lucky if you get about 20 minutes of democracy. And that's when you go into a polling booth and you tick a box to vote for people. You mark 1, 2, 3 in order of your choice. Whatever the election is, if you vote, add up all the times and the minutes that you spend inside a polling booth from here till you die, you'll probably get about 20 minutes of democracy in your lifetime. But the real democracy and the real power that you'll get is when you're part of a movement like this. A movement of people power. The sort of democracy that we have brought onto the streets, into every housing estate, into every town, into every village, into every city, and indeed into every workplace and school and college, where the question of water, how we defeat the charges, and how we get rid of this rotten government is the main topic of conversation right throughout the country. This is a form of democracy that serves us much, much better than what they do over there. Another part of democracy was what we saw happen in Greece, when the people of Greece magnificently shifted their allegiance to the Syriza party and voted against austerity, voted against the Troika, voted against the bank bailout, and did so in a most magnificent way, and did us all a favour right across Europe. In my book, they've led the way. The people of Greece didn't do that in a vacuum. The people of Greece have been on the streets and striking and fighting for the last 6 years. They've had a total of 34 general strikes in that country. They have never given up. And when they elected Syriza, that was a form of democracy. But what do we do? What does the European Parliament do? What does the Troika do? They launch economic terrorism on the people of Greece. Economic terrorism, where they're threatening to shut down